Now, we might have lost our 21st game of the season. Another poor display, but some positives. But I think from this game, we have seen the tactics that Ange Postecoglou will probably go for in the Europa League final. There's a big injury scare as well to assess. And I think from that injury scare, it's pretty obvious how Ange Postecoglou is going to line this Tottenham team up in Bilbao against Manchester United. But as I say, not the best game ever. Another 2-0 loss against Aston Villa. Similarly to the game against Crystal Palace last week, 2-0. But there was some more potential, more better things to, reflect on and more positives than last week. But again, 21 losses this season. We sit 17th in the Premier League table. It's just not good enough, is it? It's proper poor. But before we go any further, if you are new to the Sunny Talk Spurs YouTube channel and you're discovering me for the first time, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as I say, what do you make of this potential tactic tweak that Ange has done? Because it's pretty obvious from the way he lined up the team. He had, he was playing the 4-2-3-1 with Wilson Odobert in the 10. It seems like this seems like a preferred move. He had Mikey Moore on the right, Son on the left, and Tell through the middle. But maybe in the final it'll be Solanke, potentially Son, Odobert, maybe Johnson, because obviously with the injuries to Dan Kulusevski, James Maatsen and Lucas Bergwijn, there's not many midfield options. And then he'll probably go for a Bissouma and a Bentancur in the sort of 8-6 roles to give a bit more defensive reinforcement in that midfield, because at the moment it doesn't look positive when it comes to this, because again, another option for that midfield would have been maybe a flat midfield of Bissouma, Bentancur and Sarr. But with Sarr, it looks really bad. Another injury, potentially. He went straight down the tunnel with the physio, so we don't know what could potentially happen with that. But yeah, pretty poor. But as the game on a whole, there was some positive moves. There was a lovely bit of play. I think it was Wilson Odobert who was on the end of a chance. Really good save from Emery Martinez in the Villa goal. Again, it was one of those moves that it could have been goal of the season. It was proper Ange ball like we've seen sometimes in the Europa League games against AZ Alkmaar, Bodo Glimt and Frankfurt. But just with this B team, they're not good enough. Kevin Danzo, Ben Davis, they're just not the starting team that we've been used to. And then even the fullbacks, Jed Spence, he's not really looking match form. Sergio Reguilon. I mean, Kinský, very happy with how Kinský was playing. So I'm really positive that he'll have a good future at the club. But it was just all a bit part. And this Villa team looking to get, they've already qualified for European football in general, but they want Champions League. As this is recording, Chelsea and Man United, I think it's still 0-0. Let's have a look. As I look on my screen, yeah, still 0-0 in this one, 54 minutes ago as the time of recording. So, they'll be very happy that they're getting one step closer. Actually went up to 4th with that result, 66 points. But Villa, proper unit, really good midfield, tough defence. The sort of team that you can hang your hat on. Unai Emery has done an amazing job, whereas Ange Postecoglou, it's all on that Europa League final. Even both the goals, it's like a set piece again. Villa really strong from their set pieces. We're just left man and marked from the back post. And then you look at the second goal, just poor defending yet again, just not good enough at this level, just really poor. But as I say, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. This game had to be moved anyway because of the Europa League final, give us a bit more time for recovery. And now all eyes are on that game. Wednesday is absolutely monumental and huge for this football club for a number of reasons. Manchester United, actually, surprisingly, and I've got the lineup in front of me right now, went really strong. Højlund, Diallo, Mount, Dorgu, Casemiro, Fernandes, Mazraoui, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof and Onana. That's very strong considering that we went for the likes of, rested Vicario, Van der Ven, Romero, fullbacks, both rested. The midfielders we could. There was some game time given to a few players. I think it was good for Son to get some minutes because I don't know. You have to let me know in the comments down below. Do you think we should be playing Son in this game? Because I'm not really sure, especially after that display as well against Villa. Not really certain whether he actually fits into this system at current. But yeah, all eyes on that. Just sensible training ahead of this one. Nothing too drastic, because even like Lucas Bergwall getting injured in training this week absolutely has worried me. But I guess the problem is, and looking at the tactics of what I was discussing in the intro there, tweaking it for a 10, like a more out-and-out 10, might be more logical, because especially Wilson Odobert, I think he's used to playing the 10 when he was at Burnley. Obviously really dynamic, goes at players. I think he could give that back three a bit of a headache of Manchester United, and I like the idea of him actually, being able to drive, being able to dribble, because at the moment, I mentioned the names there, it's just there's not a lot of creativity, and I guess he is one of the only creative heads that we do have in this side. But I could also see a world where Ange just, maybe Sarr's all right and Ange just goes flat, middle three, or maybe asks one of the wingers to sit a bit deeper and just be there for passing routes, because I guess he doesn't want it to be too detrimental to our, because our midfield has been an issue all season. I think we know that. Even when we've had our strongest midfield with Kulusevski and Maatsen, we get bypassed. It really can become poor. But this is all that matters now. We've got Brighton next week in the Premier League. Does not matter a jot. It's all about this final, and the lead up into it is going to be huge. Ange Postecoglou's got some big decisions to make in that midfield, because I think obviously the defence picks itself. I think the attack, he's got a few decisions to make, but I still think Johnson probably, and then Solanke, and then the left winger, again, it could be an Odobert, maybe a Son for that key moment, or does he come on as a sub? But yeah, Ange Postecoglou has got to be, on top form. He's got to really go into this game thinking these tactics, because it is just such a monumental fixture. It means his job is on the line. Champions League football's on the line. Winning a trophy is on the line. And I did a video, and you can go back and watch after this, about how him and Amorim have been approaching this game, and it is just going to be of the most important stature ever. But again, this Villa game, I said to it before, I've actually been speaking to a Villa fan over the last couple of days. They could have just taken the 3 points beforehand. Waste of a trip up to the Midlands. We all knew this was coming. I was just positive of how it was. There's a bit more fight, a bit more determination. If we show that again on Wednesday, I'm confident we can win it. But that's my thoughts on the game. That's my thoughts on the potential tactical tweak that Ange is going to implement. So let me know if you think he's going to go with a flat midfield, or he's going to go a bit more with a 10, 2 8s. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another video where it's not makeshift like this one. But yeah, see you later. Ciao.